Okay, you guys. I had a wonderful visit with Dr. Nancy Klimas. I had a wonderful visit with my Kaiser general practitioner doctor. Wonderful visit with my heart doctor at Kaiser. Um, I think those are the two main people. There's a few other people I saw, but I really felt like I had a good visit with all three of them, and I am becoming more educated on how to communicate and educate doctors on this illness, and that's what it's really going to take. And I can tell you that my two doctors, my heart doctor and my internal medicine, I think that you call it, or general practitioner or primary care, I think that's it. They're really becoming very knowledgeable on the illness, and I can guarantee you that if another person were to go to them after me, they would have both learned a lot, and they would know what path to cut for that person versus being blind and anonymous. They'd be able to make some recommendations that they wouldn't have been able to make before me. Um, I had another extensive blood work taken. I won't have an appointment until the end of February, telephone conference with Dr. Nancy Klimas to see what the new results say. But I do know what my objectives are. I don't feel as sad about the test results for the natural killer cells as I did before, even though it's bad. I mean, the test score is bad. Okay, it doesn't exist. You got a right arm of your immune system and your left arm of your immune system, and my left arm is burnt. 1.78 is like less than 2, which is 0. The minimum is 28, and her objective for me is 50. So at least now I know where I need to go. She wants me to have a 50% natural killer cell test response, and I've got less than 2. But we'll see if in this short amount of time whether Immunivir worked or not. And what I found out that the program for Immunivir is you stay on the drug 6 months, pulsing it back and forth, like I've said in other videos, always off on Saturday and Sunday. Then you take a month off, and you can either get the enoxaparin, INOSINE. I'm not sure exactly the name. I'll have to type it up. But you can get this other drug, which doesn't need a prescription and is sometimes easier to get, although for me in Italy, it's easy to get this Immunivir. And so then I would do it, I guess, maybe in another 6-month episode, and then you take a month off, but you're always pulsing it. And it could take up to 2 years before we see results. So at least now I have a very clear goal to reach and an objective time frame. The other thing I'll tell you is my vitamin D, which was at 15, which the tests say it should be a minimum of 20. She said she wanted a minimum of 60. Well, after taking a prescription dose of 50,000 units twice a week for a total of 100,000 units, after a year, I hit 112, which is, or maybe 112, 120, which is a little bit higher than what you're supposed to have for vitamin D. So I stopped taking it for 3 weeks, and I got it tested again, and I fell to 60. So it took me a year to get to 112, but in 3 weeks, I lost 50% by not taking it. So our current test or practice, I don't know what you want to call it, we say practicare in Italiano, this test that we're going to run is we're going to try me at 50,000 milligrams a week, 50,000 units, not milligrams, units. But this gives you an idea that if I take 100,000 a week, I test at 100. So my guess is if I take 50 a week, I'm only going to test at 50,000, which is still lower than she wants. So it might end up being where I do, first week and third week, 50,000, and the second week and fourth week, I do 100,000. So that way I can kind of reassure that I'm coming in above 60. But that was reassuring because that's the first number we've been able to successfully get to go up. And we'll find out about the natural killer cells here soon. Now, I've told you that my left arm is burnt out on the immune system. Where she ran the test for the right arm, and she suspects that it's not very good either. And Although, I didn't get a clear answer that if the right arm is burnt out, am I doing different medications or not? I know what to do for the left arm being burnt out, but I don't know what to do for the right arm being burnt out. I'll have to ask her that at our next meeting. What else? She gave me two other options to do, which is the OXYMATRINE. It's also known as equilibranthealth.com. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of burping going on here. I can do that, or she also mentioned a new one, and Neuroprotec, Neuroprotek or TECK, and both of these are considered natural supplements. And I said to her, well, the Cosac, oh, that was the other thing, the Cosac came back without active titers. So the HHV4 Epstein-Barr is still flamingly high active titers. The HHV6 Rosalia is right on the border between not active and active, which means the medication I'm taking has function for it to keep it right at bay on that limit. And then the Kosaki came back clean. So the treatments I've been doing got my vitamin D up, got rid of active titers for one of the viruses, is holding one virus right on the line between not active and active. And then the third virus, we haven't figured out what to do for that. So she said that these two other drugs, whether I call them drugs, but they're natural supplements, uh, she has seen where people take them and they help the viruses and the titers go down. So she said, Francesca, I want you to do one of those other two. A lot of information. What else? I had my eyes checked, and there was a minor deterioration in the last 3 months on my eyes. Although my left eye has severely deteriorated over my right eye. They did some kind of mapping thing, and I'm going to have to find the sheet and show it to you. It was very interesting. There was a specific thing where they could map the entire eye, and it came out in colors. And in the sphere for the eye, there was one segment on the left eye that she said was optical nerve damage. But it was only a small piece, but the left eye is severely worse than the right eye, versus years ago they were just a sliver difference. Now they're a huge amount of difference. But we now have a baseline for my eyes, and in fact this disease can attack your eyes. Isn't that lovely? So, a lot of exciting things, met a lot of exciting people on all these planes, and they all have siblings that are sick with chronic fatigue, and at some point I am going to be hearing from those people. But I had the surgery, and I felt as though I was kind of sad this past week because I felt as though I went back into a full sleeping coma again. What am I going to do? I mean, even though we're all doing better, I should be grateful I just don't live in a sleeping coma. But I did go back into a severe sleeping coma. I had several 17-hour days I slept. 17-hour days. But today was my first day. Yeah, I did pretty good. Although you can see I'm crashing now. And I guess my mood is a little bit sad because I would have uploaded some of the other videos, but I just feel an aura of sadness. I mean, I'm excited for this year. I think this year is really going to be my year, and I think this is the year I'm going to be able to help a lot of people too. But it's really hard dealing with the reality of how this fucking illness sucks. Sorry, but this one thing, confronting this news is one thing, but embracing it, sometimes it's really hard. And I always try to put my positive foot forward, but it's not easy. But I do know that I'm doing better than I have in a long time. Okay, you guys, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I haven't written, I haven't responded. I know you've been asking, but part of me just feels sad, and I feel as though if I write you individually, you're going to hear my sadness, and I don't want to make my sadness other people's problems. We all have our own problems. I don't need to make my sadness your problem. And I turned 50 a week ago, which I haven't been sad that I turned 50. I'm happy that I turned 50. So it's not that I turned 50 that I'm sad. And I think I'm going to get my hair really blonde. So watch out. I have a girlfriend who just got her hair done and I love the color. And I've been kind of tinkering with it. And I thought, my goodness, she did it. I'm going to do it too. So, okay, bye you guys.